Welcome back to this very special wrap on steroids, and it's certainly an honor and a privilege to have in a great friend and one of the great mental health doctors in the Toledo community, Dr. Archambeau, and a former great UT standout in football. So, Dr. Archambeau, first of all, thank you for doing this.
Oh, my pleasure, Tom.
And you said something that just struck me about a decision that we're going to have to make in our society, quote unquote, of what is acceptable behavior, that we put in our bodies to enhance performance. You pondered about having two different leagues, people that are taking steroids and then people aren't. I mean, that's what it's come down to in baseball. Two sets of records. Talk about that a little bit, Doctor.
Well, in the past, Tom, before many substances were available that we knew could help and change a performance, we went about our games with whatever God gave us, and we practiced a little more, played a little harder, we worked a little longer, and so on. And as I said, we got into another phase in the pursuit of excellence in sports, in which conditioning was discovered, probably through the 70s. That we found out that workouts and conditioning muscles and speed of reactions and so on could be improved tremendously by working off season and putting forth that effort. And I think we're into a new phase now. In the past 20 years or so, we've realized that not only do we have whatever God-given talents and skills and physical attributes that we have, but we can condition those with all kinds of extraordinary conditioning techniques. But now the question becomes, what chemicals can we put into our body that might enhance that performance? Early on, the chemicals were small in number. Years ago, maybe back in I've read about the early NFL days in the 50s. The guys would take stimulants, benzodrines, and dexedrines.
They were in the locker room.
They were in the locker room. They passed them around, the black beauties and so on. And they began to realize that wasn't good, and a little embarrassment from it, and that fell off. Now what we face is a whole array of substances, nutritional substances, drugs, medications that we can put in our body. And how should we as a society, how should people interested in sports decide essentially what's natural and what's unnatural? How far can you go in a natural sense, and when does it take a step over some line that we haven't really drawn yet, Tom? Say, no, you can't put that into your body. It makes an uneven playing field.
Dr. Archambeau, are we creating a paradigm here where a youngster, man or woman, who had never considered doing something like that? I had a couple of friends that played in pro ball, and they said, never would have considered it. They said the guy they were playing across, they knew that something was wrong, that wasn't natural. Are we pushing kids to be able to compete at a higher level because some people are cheating, and it's kind of either we turn the other way, a nod and a blink, and it's okay? Are we pushing good kids to consider doing that?
Well, I don't think there's any doubt they're getting pushed, Tom, with all the rewards that come along with sports and the adulation, at home or at school, and then the financial and rewards that can come along with it. How is a kid going to look at somebody he's playing across next fall and see 20 pounds, 30 pounds being put on in the summer and say, okay, I'll just go out, I'll play fair, but I'll have him just knock the baloney out of it.
Him a derriere to
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's an awfully lot to expect a kid to say no to that. There's got to be some very powerful forces to stand in the way of a kid deciding, you know what, I've got to compete. I've got to stay up with him. And what those forces are and what the guidelines are to decide what the rules are, they just don't exist, Tom. They aren't there yet.
Dr. Archambeau, we thank you so much for taking your time to do this.
My pleasure,
for
Tom.
The community and on BCSN, and we applaud the work that you're doing in the mental health field in Toledo.
You're aging very well, Tommy.
Thanks, Doc. I appreciate it. We'll be back with more on BCSN.